Every technological device humans use, and every scientific discovery from which they benefit, begins in the mind of a person, a scientist. But where do these scientists come from? How do they think? How do they work? A boy from Brooklyn, New York, named Carl Sagan, began to wonder what the stars were. He asked other people, but he didn't get an answer that satisfied him. So he went to the library and asked for a book about stars. The librarian gave him one, but it was about movie stars. Sagan was embarrassed that she had misunderstood, but he was not too embarrassed to ask again. That time, she gave him a book about the right kind of stars. It answered some of his questions, but started him thinking about many more. Carl Sagan became a noted astronomer, Pulitzer Prize-winning author, and popularizer of science through books and television shows. While growing up in a small mountain town outside of Caracas, the capital of Venezuela, Enriqueta Barrera used to explore the tropical forest and small river near her home. On her walks, she collected specimens of plants, rocks, and small animals that she studied at home, first with a magnifying glass and later with a microscope her father bought her when she was 7 years old. A high school course sparked Barrera's interest in geology, and she received her doctoral degree from Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. Currently, she is the Director of Geology and Paleontology program at the National Science Foundation, which funds studies about life and the Earth's environments. Her recent work investigates what conditions were like just prior to the extinction of dinosaurs many years ago. In the 7th grade, Evan Ford's science teacher set up a candle in front of the classroom. As their midterm exam, he asked students to write as many observations about the burning candle as they could. Ford finished the exam with more than 100 observations on his paper. While Ford was growing up in Miami, his parents, both teachers, encouraged him to ask questions and to find the answers himself. He received his graduate degree from Columbia University after working for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or the NOAA, as a researcher. He became the first African American to conduct research dives in the submersible, like the Alvin, which is a free-diving deep-sea vessel known as a bathyscaphe. Today, Ford is working with the NOAA to make the data from a satellite remote sensing system more useful to meteorologists who forecast tropical storms. He feels observations is one of his greatest strengths as a scientist. If you have enough detail, he says, sometimes you can make correlations that might otherwise be missed. And he wonders if his powers of observation are a cause or an effect. Is he a good scientist because he is a keen observer, or is it the other way around? Maybe he was born to be a scientist. 3 different people, 3 different stories, yet all became Earth scientists. Although they all come from varying backgrounds, Carl Sagan, Enriqueta Barrera, and Evan Ford were each drawn to science when they were young. Although each faced obstacles, they all became respected scientists. Some scientists wear lab coats, but some wear regular clothing. Some work in laboratories, but many, especially in the earth sciences, work in the field, diving deep into the ocean in bathyscaphes and searching for rocks in the deserts or mountains. Some scientists teach, while others focus on research. They work for universities and private corporations. Some study the universe, some study objects that can only be seen with a microscope, or in the case of particle physics, that can't really be seen at all. Given all these differences, do scientists have anything in common? Well, just like Sagan, Barrera, and Ford, they share what might best be called the scientist's mind. It is a way of looking at the world with both logic and a sense of wonder. Scientists always seem to be asking questions. Could there be life on other planets? What strange creatures live in the deep sea? How does human activity affect the atmosphere? These and 1,000 more questions are being researched right now by scientists all over the world. In the course of their careers, some scientists investigate many questions. Some seek the answer to only one. However many questions they ask, though, scientists are methodical in the way they go about finding their answers. Sometimes, scientists must overcome great obstacles in their search for answers. A scientist who wants to study distant galaxies or Earth's core cannot physically go there, so scientists must be inventive as they figure out ways to get the information that they need. Scientists are observant. They ask questions about what they observe. They predict what might cause the phenomena they observe by using evidence, which is material or data that can be measured and tested to verify their predictions. Scientists are creative. Drawing upon what they know, they form a hypothesis, which is a tentative explanation for an observation or phenomenon. Then they think of ways to test that explanation. Scientists are skeptical. They question long-held assumptions and try to prove or disprove ideas. As they do, they form hypotheses, analyze what is known, experiment to test their hypotheses, and interpret the results. They use mathematics and scientific tools and instruments. Technology, which is the practical application of science to meet human needs, provides scientists with the means to gather accurate and reliable data. The object of scientific study is to understand the natural world. For example, to learn what factors affect plant growth. Often, that understanding leads to technology that has wide-ranging benefits. For example, providing farmers with means to grow more plants per acre. Because no one can know everything, no matter how long he or she has studied or how smart he or she is, scientists must work together. Scientists cooperate with one another by publishing the results in scientific journals, speaking at conferences, and joining professional societies with other scientists. What they learn adds to what we know and can also be built on by other scientists in the future. With this in mind, let us now discuss the scientific method.